So welcome back, episode 65. We are obviously on location at a Zidell yard here in Portland. So
yeah, we're here. It's not as cool as it is when we're show on, but it's still a neat building.
There's 300 less bikes.
Yeah.
So you can see 2 bikes. We got 2.
We got 2.
Shout out Gas.
Somewhat bikes. Yep. So we're going to talk about today. We did an episode with Thor here. It was one of the kind of our original episodes where we dug into One Moto Show branding.
Yeah.
Which was super
just
cool.
Getting to know you guys a little bit. And vice versa.
Crazy thing about that episode is it was the first and the last time we did this, but as far as you didn't see the branding till we popped it up live on that chop
that's
up.
right.
And we ran through them. Yeah, and we ran through them all, which was kind of cool.
It's kind of risky for us because you could just be like, yo, these all suck, start over. And it would have made for a great episode, but it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
But you picked one, and that was a couple years ago. And
I mean, you guys do good work, so I think you're betting on yourselves there.
Yeah. But this time we're going to do it different. So 15 years of the One Moto Show was back in April. So worked with you on the branding, everything. So obviously show's over, turned out amazing. Thing was fucking huge.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's kind of talk a little bit about that. It's been 15 years of you running a motorcycle show.
Yeah, which is very unexpected. I was never really destined for a show promotion. The great thing about something that's that old is that it's developed itself and it kind of runs, for the most part, you know what to expect, that it's going to do this thing. And then, as the kind of wild person putting it all together, I entertain myself by trying to change things up every year and, do what you're not supposed to do, which is change your logo every year. And
that's what we love about it.
Yeah.
It's like if we were to continually put on an event or a show or whatever, we'd do the same thing. Every year would be like, we need a new logo.
I mean, we do that internally for our own stuff, you know what I mean? Like, I love that you do it, so it's almost like anti-branding at that point, because you're not putting that mark on it, Even when you started this show, I feel like it started pretty naturally. Didn't you mention that you rented a space, or you had a space for something else, and then the timeline went longer, so you just had a show because you had the space?
Yeah, totally. So, I mean, the show just happened really naturally. I was building a trade show booth because that's what I used to do. So I was building the trade show booth. I'd rented out a warehouse. It was the cheapest warehouse I could find. And then we had rented it out for the month, sent the booth out, and I was also working on advertising stuff. So I just took over the studio late at night and printed posters, hired my coworkers to do all the branding, and just made it look really professional. It was sort of my after-school project.
I mean, I feel like all my favorite things kind of started organically and naturally, and this is just that, you know?
Yeah, totally. And that's it, and it really doesn't feel any different doing it, 15 years later. It's still like, kind of like, hanging out with you guys, and we'll, I think, when we first started talking about branding and how we reinvent ourselves every year, we kind of clear the slate. Hey, what worked last year? What did we like about last year? Okay, that's great. Let's try something different.
Yeah, throw it out the window.
Yeah, totally.
Start over.
You guys do a lot of Mattel work, Hot Wheels.
Yep.
So I was just kind of like, man, what were the best years? And I was thinking, 80s, 90s, like early 80s, 90s. And I wonder why branding went that way, but like it was probably just color TV, and they were like, let's go big and wild, and now that we got color TV.
Yeah, let's show it. Logo.
Yeah, it's just all based on the tools they had. So they're like, color TV came out, so let's just go crazy.
Like, He-Man, Muscle Man, like Hot Wheels, all that stuff just really stuck out in my, when I closed my eyes. So I was like, let's try something completely different. We always would take, try to turn it into two color logo and just really strip it down to like pretty simple. And we went completely different this year.
I mean, there was no checkered flags. There's no crossed wrenches. There's like a kind of like a visual language for the motorcycle industry.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. I love it all. You know what I mean? But to just do something not that was fun and different and colorful. And I was excited when I saw the mood board because it's like, oh shit, this is kind of Dan and I's space a little bit on the day job. So then to bring it into like kind of what we like outside of work was just a fun kind of fusion of stuff. And it ended up awesome in my opinion.
Yeah, it really caught people off guard.
I bet. I mean, there's a bunch of shows that happen. You know what I mean? They're awesome shows. You see it all over Instagram, but they all have the same feel, which is expected. You know what I mean? That's what branding is.
But like as visual guys, like of course, like when you see something that's successful, you're like,
let's do it again.
Let's do it. Let's do it again. I mean, that's why everybody does parodies of
absolutely.
Logos, whether the logo's good or not, like it has iconic history, right?
Yeah.
And so
you recognize it.
It becomes part of people's way of designing. I mean, what in advertising, sorry to bring this up, but it's not where you stole it from; it's where you took it to,
totally.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you have to like borrow a little bit from stuff that you've seen to make things work. Now have gone through the whole process, like I'm super proud that we did try something completely different, and those shirts will be iconic. The branding for that will be kind of noted as like, man, that was a cool year. Like we really stepped outside of our 2-color box and
and it should have been. It was 15 years, I feel like. So to change it up, that's the right time and place to do it. So
yeah, even thinking of the business end, it's kind of probably so risky to just do something different. You're like, we have these good logos. We could just use that, and business-wise, it probably makes more sense. But
it is risky because you put that on a T-shirt. Like, will it sell? Will it be well received? And like I said, like maybe first glance, people were like, that reminds me of this, 80s stuff, and then they're like, that was a period of my life, not into it,
Yeah.
And then like a year from now, when everybody's doing it, they're like, fuck, I wish I would have bought that shirt. Like that's and the great thing about changing your logo is like, that's a one-off run.
Exactly.
It's not coming back.
Yeah.
So
You better get it.
You better get
at
it.
The show. And,
It is risky, but that's the name of the game, right? Like,
I mean, that's like the motorcycle industry, right? I mean, I think I saw you last weekend jumping over some bikes in the middle of the road by Burnside and whatever,
at the
12th.
One Moto Cafe.
We pivoted CC into the One Moto Cafe, and
that jump seemed a little risky.
It was risky. It was not a good jump. It was
I think a lot
of things could have went wrong.
I thought I saw you building it out of 1/4-inch ply. I was like, you should have maybe used 3/4-inch ply.
No, I've had very tight, talk about design. I had very tight confines. It had to fit in my van.
Okay.
And next to a bike, and it couldn't weigh that much. So it was 7 feet long, and I made it as tall as I could. That wasn't too like. Booter.
A booter,
yeah, totally.
People were excited about that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, got to jump in celebration.
I was hyped to see it personally. So
good time.
All right, let's run through these quickly.
Yeah.
So the first one that you just saw, that's the one that ended up landing.
Totally, kind of like a bar and shield, like.
Just I mean, it has that motion, it has that perspective that a lot of those logos have. The second one there that we were looking at is definitely a good Hot Wheels feel. You brought a good reference that I forget what it said. So I just recreated the letter form, and this one was great. Super excited on this.
The one in the O.
Yep.
Got to do that, right? I mean, that's like mandatory.
Yeah.
And then just kind of trying to go crazy with it. This is actually inspired from the He-Man logo. You mentioned you liked He-Man, so I'm like,
got some pizzazz
I need
behind
to
it.
remake and then I pulled off some Beavis and Butthead explosions and put that behind it. Just it needed something.
It's just playing. It's playing with logos, right? Like, it's awesome.
It has
it's
a
playful
feeling.
and it's fun. Like.
And that's almost why for me it's so fun working on projects with you, because we do have a lot of big clients, and there's parameters and restrictions and stuff, and I get it, but it's like with you and your brands, it's like just have fun. You know what I mean?
Totally.
That was a G.I. Just influence there on that one. Just going back.
Yeah.
This one was there was like a dinosaur toy back in the day, but. That was the reference on this one,
Yeah, for the races. So this one really spoke to me because obviously the oval for flat track racing, and that's kind of why we turned it into the partnership between this year we did races with Flat Out Friday Mama Tried crew from Milwaukee, and they have a pretty different design sense, and they've kept with their logos the entirety of their show, I think.
And they have good IP visually. Getting their assets and working with them, it's like. professional good stuff.
Similar dudes, I think.
All right, so we landed on the first one.
Yeah.
Which is kind of that action hero 80s kind of toy vibe there.
Very bold.
Very bold. Yep. Very different. Like Dustin said, not a lot of checkers, very little black.
Even turning it into one color was quite challenging for us, or myself. I knew you needed it, but I'm just like, fuck. I don't know. I'm having a hard time. This was a version in here. We actually didn't end up running this version with the halftone dots. We found a different solution, but...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's some solid pieces, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's super busy, but, for what we were doing, I think it really kind of hits the market, which is you can't just stay... Well, you can just stay with one logo, but we can't just stay with one logo, and so we have to try different things, and this was definitely, I think we pushed the boundaries of, what I was comfortable with.
Yeah, motorcycle branding and different things, Yeah,
it's not as tough as other stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely not tough. It's way more playful, and it really is reminiscent of 80s, 90s action.
I mean, I think the good thing is if you come to the show, you get it.
Yeah.
It's different. Yeah. It's not your standard show. I mean, you had skateboarding, BMX, you had freestyle motocross, there was a ton of shit.
Show,
happening, so.
I mean, even we have a ton of friends in town that they don't care anything about motorcycles, but every year they're hyped to come just because it's a spectacle and it's just wild and weird and fun and
totally
a good day.
Yeah, and I just don't want to be stuck, so we really got the brand unstuck by doing this, so next year we could go just to a Helvetica #1 and everybody's like, dang, it's amazing.
Exactly. So with that, branding's done, ready to go, signed off by Thor. Let's jump into the Moto Mag.
Yeah, so the Moto Mag is a magazine we've done the last 3 years. I kind of forget.
Bad boy.
And it's fun. I mean, for me, it's fun. Print is low-key dead, so it's anytime we have the opportunity to make a printed something, I'm all about it. We're talking about a 15-year book. We're talking about other books.
Absolutely.
Let's make some more books.
I mean, honestly, I think if we all had a little bit more time, we'd probably do more of these things.
Absolutely.
It's just a lot of fun to encapsulate, some stories and just, things that we're interested in and some photos, of course. Interviewed, this page. We went and interviewed the Coast team. Coast is one of our sponsors, but
right here with the
also a really unique company. Oh yeah, so they did all of our invites. So they didn't. You guys designed the branding on them, but they provided the flashlight.
I mean, pretty sick. So if you were invited to the show to exhibit your bike in the show, you get this flashlight.
Yeah, so
sent to you in the mail.
That's sick.
This thing comes to you in the mail. First thing, you submit your bike on the website, and then we approve your submission, and then you get this in the mail, right? And this is $60 to $80. I don't remember the exact price, but
it's a nice light, basically.
Super nice light, and they really invented the game with this light. Change, it's a pen light with hyperfocus. It's just got a lot of technology that I don't need to talk about right now, but super cool. And then, for me, this company Coast is really interesting. It's a 100-year-old company right here in Portland, and no one would ever know it.
That's
right?
Cool. Yeah.
So because I didn't know that, went and talked to them, their designers, people that work there, and then learned how it all started, which was with a fishing knife and a guy who sold hardware. That's just in line with the show, and that's another detail to the show that it's pretty unique. And
I mean, I was pushing you to do an interview with Roland Sands, which you made happen, so I was super excited.
Totally. Yeah, I sent Roland this interview, and Roland's just a really interesting guy too. He came from sort of motorcycle royalty, but he's really put a new spin on that and in a positive way. But the magazine's cool. It's it's dual purpose. It's serving some of our sponsors, and we get to try some different creative layouts. And
there's a little bit of information about the show in there, a little bit of timing. But yeah, if we ever have enough time in the day, let's shoot for a quarterly, something. I would freaking love to do that. You know what I mean? Maybe a different format, bigger size.
Yeah, we had talked about that.
Yeah, it would just
now with the new cafe, maybe we can try. And,
I mean,
work something in.
I love doing it. I just wish I could clone myself so that they could do all the hard work and I could do all the fun work.
Yeah. Well, AI is out now, so you could just
teach it how to do all the hard work. I don't know if it will work.
All right, so Moto Mag, finished that up.
Yep.
Those, when you got to the show, everyone got one for free when you walked in.
Yep.
Which is always cool.
Free's good.
Yep. So moved on to the poster.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So
brought one.
Yeah, we got one here.
Like
that's
the
a
ones
special
we were selling.
one.
So this is like the
Premier Press printed that.
Yeah,
like
on
that
the
thing
super crazy.
Turned out rad.
Yeah, that paper, I don't know what it's called, but it's so sick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this is another example of like, let's just put some pizzazz, on what we got. I mean,
have fun with it.
I don't know how many people could print a poster like this. Probably not a lot, but it's like got purple and silver. And
if anybody could do it.
Yeah.
Premier Press.
Yeah, no doubt. So yeah, with the poster, we really went, lots of information.
Different than years past, where usually it's like logo, bike, little info.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's that's in line with the show. The show is lots of information. Like there's shit happening everywhere. I mean, we could only cover there's 8 subjects on there, 9 subjects, I guess, including the bike in the center. And really, there's way more to it than that. Like from the car show, bands, stunts. I mean, skateboarding. There's just a lot.
There's a lot.
I mean, shit. Last year or the 15th year, they had that rail. Whoever built that fucking crazy ass rainbow rail for the skateboard, rail. And there's a bike parked underneath. That was gnarly. Totally. Seen a couple dudes do it, and I didn't think, I'm like, no one's gonna make this.
Yeah. So there's just a lot going on. So you're trying to with the poster, you're trying to sell the show to a broad array of people.
Yeah, it definitely encapsulates the feeling of the show. You know what I mean?
I mean, I have to wear 2 different hats in that regard too, because I want to be as creative as possible and make it look unique and not overly done. But then also, I have to service the business side of it.
People are giving you money, so you're like, all right, let's put their.
I'm terrible at the business side. I'm okay at the visual side of things, but. Together, combined, I really need you guys' help to sort that out. So I appreciate it.
Heck yeah.
Last minute, hey, we need to add another logo. And you're like, the whole thing.
Where's that going to fit? Yeah. All right, so moving on to apparel. So ton of apparel this year.
Yeah.
Last year you ran out, on Saturday.
Yeah. Good problem.
Yep.
Yeah, we pretty much ran out of everything, Saturday night.
That's awesome.
It's
great. Yep.
And it's a testament to we're putting a lot of thought into the products.
Yeah.
We'll have our staples the One Show official shirt, and then we'll kind of explore different ways. I think. Yeah. I love this logo because it was full on.
It was
kind
fun.
of Hot Wheels inspired.
Yep.
Yeah, good color, good energy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got some bat wings on there. That's fun.
Yep. And I think that this is one of those logos that people saw at the show and it didn't quite click, and then afterwards I heard a ton of people I wish I would have bought that sweatshirt.
Really?
It's so rad. Yeah. I mean, that's why people wear logos on their shirts. It's like a brand reflection of their personality, and that experience of being at the cool show is they get to talk about it, and
you're part of the tribe now.
Totally. That's why I love it. Whenever I see somebody wearing a One Show product, I go up and be like, "Hey, man, did you have fun at the show?" And that always good stories come out of it. So
that's great. This is one of my favorites here.
This is so good,
and it ended up on the can.
So sick.
Yep.
The cold brew that was sold at the event.
We did our own cold brew for the event.
Pretty dope.
This was a bike that was in the show, and I was like, it looks iconic. The way that the photo was taken that we used for the drawing inspiration.
Yep.
It was just that's exactly how your mind would picture a chopper.
Yeah,
totally.
For sure. It's a nice balance.
Exact bike. It has the flames on it. Every aspect of it is perfect. The way the kickstand's going out.
And for those of you who don't know, the show's not about just choppers. It's all types of bikes, race bikes and dirt bikes. But every year we kind of explore a different like visual thing of a motorcycle, and this year was like a chopper. I thought that was
cool.
Fun,
Yeah, it's got that old school 80s.
It works.
Yeah, kind of band t-shirt.
And the crazy thing
vibe.
is that it did well with people who are really into motorcycles, and did well with people that are really not into motorcycles.
Yeah.
So even talking about the t-shirts here, it's so fun because the logo's already just this fun, wild, wacky like exploration, and then the shirts are like a smidgen less important than the logo. So it's like you can even have even more fun and get more wacky with it. So it's just
It's a nice
literally
range.
and there's
Yeah.
a good amount of volume. Like we'll show 10 or 20. We're sitting at Zidell right now.
Zidell.
This is one of the things that you guys brought to the table that I hadn't even considered, which is like,
well, and this building is its own character. I mean, this
Seriously,
what
yeah.
we're sitting in. That's why the first time you had it here is like, holy shit, the building itself is like its own deal, So I think like calling out Zidell Yard, and like if you're in town and you came to the show, you're like, shit. Yeah, that building and that place is iconic.
Even their story, like someone a while ago showed me the little documentary and what they did in the 40s and 50s, and it's pretty freaking dope. Like even to see the piles of metal scrap, like and how clean it is now, it's like
yeah, and you're right. The building is a character. It's like it's part of the show, and so doing like calling out the building was like just such a great idea, and I hadn't even thought of that. I was like. To me, that's like a little bit scary to like start messing with other people's stuff. But,
I think they liked it too, maybe.
Yeah, because they ended up, I think, using the logo.
Perfect.
And like, I mean, I wear the Zidell shirt all the time.
Yeah.
I'm kind of proud.
I have that orange.
I don't work there, but kind of part of the story now.
This is a good one. This shirt.
Yeah, I had a fun time.
Like 15
out
years, 15
all the
logos.
Geeking out on them all. Super hyped that we have 3 on the sheet. Just because when we first moved up here, it's like, yo, Dan, we need to work with these guys. And, finally we did. So.
Yeah. But yeah, it's cool. And then it has all the logos on the over the years on the back.
Yeah.
And you can see the progression, right? Like I love that, right? It just gives you a visual roadmap of where we started. And
you got scripts, you got some flags, you got all kinds of big number ones.
Highlighting the word just one, the one show. So, yeah, it's cool.
I mean, even now with you transitioning to One Moto Cafe, you have a plethora of visuals that you could, you can make stuff for days. You know what I mean? You have...
I'm actually having a hard time with the cafe because I've done so much logo work for the show that's a thing, So like I'm gonna actually hit you guys up to help me unlock the cafe.
I'm even thinking just repurpose all of them and just instead of show, cafe.
Yeah.
Just to have. It's not your main one, but you just need to have it.
And a P at the one motorcycle shop.
Yeah.
Oh.
There you go.
You can just cross it
Yeah,
off
just put a P on top. That'll be fun.
Yeah, this one's kind of like hits you globally,
Yes, this is the kind of globe.
Yeah, I'm always trying to push like that concert T vibe on the back. It has just locations and dates, and that's just fun because you have the 15 years.
Yeah, there it is.
Damn, I don't even know you printed this one. I didn't see it up there, but that's a good looking tee.
It's a size small, so you can take it if you want it.
Well, I wish I was a
That'll be
size small.
tight.
But yeah, it's cool. It's got all the different addresses, like a kind of band tee.
Even just cool to see in town. Like I've lived here in Portland for like 10 years, so to see like, oh shit, I'm partying at Thor used to have the show here in this building, and now it's like a fancy dance club, so just cool to see all those aspects.
15 years. I forget sometimes, and I'll use this shirt as my reference. Like, where was it at that year?
Another fun one. Did this get
staff shirt?
That was staff shirt. Okay. And then the Zidell Yard.
Yep. Those ones are always kind of like the people who know that one's coming out is like a collector piece,
Is it?
So there are people
That's
that
cool.
specifically want those ones.
Love it on orange.
Yeah, that's just like looks classic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you kind of explore all different styles to appeal to different people, Like this one we kind of tried to develop for more like the Harley crowd,
Yep.
Totally. And then, we got a good one. Tor sent in a scanned sketch, which for me is just so fun because typically, in the stuff like if we're working for whoever, they're like, you can't do this, you know what I mean? So I'm just so hyped you sent through a great sketch, but it was just the way it was scanned. It's like, oh shit, all right, let me just live trace it. And you might have actually live traced it, I forget, but it's just a vibe and it's a good feeling,
totally. It's, for the staff, like they're dealing with zip ties, clip lights, these bike boxes that are unruly, little tiny like house extension cords. And like lots of beer and pizza, and so I was just trying to like put all that together.
That's everything that's in there.
There's like duct tape, zip ties, beer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's liquid death actually. So there's water.
Yeah.
There's the beer, and there's the pizza. There's an oyster knife and an oyster.
And you got the checklist in case.
Yeah, totally.
It's there, too.
There's
You have the
just having fun.
tracks on the box, and
But we got to put the sponsors on that one too. So that was
sponsors are there.
Yep.
This one a little bit outside the box, using a photo.
Yeah, it was inspired by Taylor Swift, I think.
Yes.
Initially, yes, which I had found the original reference was like a Pat Benatar tee, which was an awesome tee. So then I kind of just stayed in, not exactly, but stayed in that realm and got some Clash inspiration, which I learned through a teammate that was originally an Elvis.
Damn.
Yeah, Clash took an Elvis piece.
Yeah.
So it was fun just learning, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
And just
I
a
didn't
cool
get
photo.
one of those. Those went quick.
yeah.
And that's a weird thing when you're designing it. You're like, I mean, dude, we're putting on a major show and we're designing a full line of clothing too, which is like,
A lot of work.
you know, a lot of people take years to design a full line of clothing. You know, we're just kind of like, okay, that's going to work. Or let's tweak this. And I mean, we had 2 meetings about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
If that, and maybe an email.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Send it to printer. Yeah, pick the blanks and
So if you're not totally satisfied with your shirt, it's because we only spent 2 meetings doing it.
Right. Did this kids tee get made?
Yeah, I
it
have
did.
it.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah. There it
here.
is.
Yeah, totally.
That's
Sweet.
awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, yeah, now
It's
that
fun.
you have kids, it's like I even noticed at the last event you had
Yeah.
the bouncer, the jump house thing out there. So
Oh, yeah.
it's just cool seeing just an evolution of the show. You know what I mean? So even for us, it's like, let's make a kids tee. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
one of your 2 kiddos could rock it. And then there's so many kids that are here anyways. So it's
Totally, yeah,
It's
and
perfect.
that's weird, right? Like for a motorcycle
Yeah.
show to develop a whole line of clothing, and then now also have to design it for like
kid.
kids,
Yeah.
and you know, every type of person. So, but no, this is the stuff that I love. Is like
The accessories and
the accessories, like just
yeah.
really trying to like make yourself laugh. You
Yeah,
know, like
we got some koozies.
the
and-
grip
yeah.
it, flip it, and sip it.
Yeah,
Can you
that's-
make a better koozie?
That's great.
I mean, and for me, it's like, I get the email. It's like, here's the tagline. I'm like, perfect.
Yeah.
I know exactly what I'm going to do.
Every year we try to come up with something so dumb for the koozies.
Yeah.
And I was like, grip it, flip it, and sip it.
Just wait till we get to the stickers. They get even
Yeah,
more
they
silly.
get it. The stickers get wild. Billboards every year.
Yeah, the old
10,
Nick.
10, 12 of them
Huge.
around town.
And they're
yeah.
big as hell. You
Yeah,
know,
they're
even
ma-
us, like when we build them, it's like, do we make them to size? Do we make them 1/10 of the size?
Yeah.
Because they're freaking huge. And we don't really have the opportunity to do billboards really at all. So
Yeah.
it's like just a fun, different aspect. And
And that's kind of where I take it too. I'm like, you know, most people are looking at a billboard or sitting in traffic
Yeah.
and have nothing else
Yeah.
to look at. So like, let's just try to make them entertaining.
totally.
Yeah.
You know, because we're hitting the masses with these things. It's like trying to break down the stigma walls, you know, of motorcycles. And
I think everybody's like really, we're so used to like marketing being fed to us, like, or just like pushed on us. So it's like, you have to just do something different because all the traditional ways, everyone's doing that, so it's not effective. So I feel like, that's just a new way of trying to market to these people and have
Totally.
fun. And
yeah, playful, you know. I mean, you know, it turns out that advertising is just it's the philosophy of how to move people, you know.
grab their attention.
These are, I mean, the stickers, dude.
So sticker sheets.
This is
yeah.
probably the best sticker sheet that
These-
ever.
These are
It's
seriously
ever-
the most fun. You know, it's like, I mean, one of them, it says 16,000 beers. So it's
Yep.
like, and I think, you know, at the time, whoever the beer sponsor was, we were like, all right, let's make the can. And I mean, that's just so much fun, you know.
16,000 beers. Hey, that one came from a taxi boat driver in Panama. He looked really hungover, and I was like, "Oh, you drank a few beers last night." He said, 16,000 beers, Mom. I was like, dude, that's a very specific number.
You didn't hesitate on that.
Yeah, I was like, dude, that's brilliant. 16,000 is just the exact amount of
That's
beers.
great.
That
It sounds like Panama has some heavy influence on this show.
I mean, life's influence, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was there and open to
Yeah.
some influence.
Even just the party animal sticker
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
misspelled.
Pretty,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like first glance, you just read it and you're like, oh, that's actually not spelled right.
Yeah, New Boots Goofing on there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
New
just some
Boots Goofing.
just some funny
Yeah.
taglines, and it's up to us to figure out some imagery to pair with it. And
Yeah. What's
They're-
the other one?
They're always fun.
a friend, with,
with we. Yeah, it was on 420 this year, so
Yeah.
we had to do a 420 sticker.
Yeah.
Your dad had this bike? ?
Yeah.
I put that on my Harley because it's definitely a dad bike. So.
And it's the bad boy letter form too, so it just is like a fun little.
Yeah.
It's just dad
Callback.
vibes. All my dad's
Bad
friends
boy.
have the bad boy logo on their or tattooed on their biceps, so it's like.
And the funny thing is the sticker sheets all started with the center. Keep those booger hooks off my bike because we need stickers for the show. So I just make like "Don't touch my bike" stickers.
Yeah.
And so that's where this started, and then now we're off on a whole different tangent of dad stickers.
I love it.
So yeah, a lot of product, stickers, apparel, everything. This place is so massive, like the signage that goes into actually putting this thing on. The banner that covers that door down there that hangs above it is
huge.
Fuck, I don't know how big that thing is.
I think it's 60 feet wide, and it's probably 20 feet down. So
Damn.
yeah,
It's a lot of material.
Crazy.
it's a big. Yeah, it's and you put anything smaller, it looks like cute. You like stick a banner up on the wall, So
Yep.
you kind of have to make it big, which is it's challenging. It's totally different to do something on a screen than put it, in a massive
Absolutely.
space.
Totally. Yeah. The welcome sign all the way down to wayfinding of the bathrooms and where to park and all those details. It's just, there's a lot of aspects of design to the show that it just makes it so fun. You know what I mean? And figuring out ways to tie it all in together with colors and letter forms and stuff like that.
And that's really what separates our show is that every detail is overthought, right?
The wristbands. Like I'm trying to think of the dumb stuff where it's like, yeah, we thought about the wristbands. We thought about the...
And does it matter? Not really.
Yeah.
But it does to us, so
Yeah.
it should matter.
It's a point of difference.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think people notice, there's a consistency throughout each year, the theme, Let's talk about real quick. So there's the race.
Yeah. So there's a race with the show this year and going onwards.
Yep, which is cool. Everybody kind of goes out. This year it was at the Events Expo Center.
Yeah.
Indoor race.
Indoor flat track race.
Yep.
So it's Coke syrup track, which is a really weird thing to tell people. But what they do is they put down basically a sugar, and it melts the tires and makes a super consistent sticky surface to race on, like almost to the point where you can't cut the wheel out.
Damn.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so basically one of our sponsors, Gas, was like, hey, we want to do like a halftime race. And we've got this bike called the Moto 1.
Yep.
And it makes sense that it should be at the One Moto. So I got a few of these Moto 1s, and then I gave them out to different creative people in the community. You guys
We got this one that we customized for the race.
that one, yeah. And then I did like a light custom on mine. But yeah, so we built these bikes, and we had a team race where you had to add a new article of clothing every time you came around.
It's awesome.
And I think your son was in there.
Yeah, my son and a couple of his buddies raced the bike and did the whole thing. Yep.
Dude, they could not have been smiling any harder in the race. Like they were so jacked
had a
up.
great
They
time.
decided to take the race outside into the pits. I was like, "Hey, Dad, can you
tell
catch
your
your son? Can you tell him to slow it down through the pit area?"
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's just cool.
Fun event. Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like you guys aren't necessarily bike customizers, but pulled off an amazing
it was fun.
custom job on the bike there. And
And we had to find a seamstress to make a custom seat. Like that was sick.
Your lady hooked it up, put our logo
full
on the
custom
back
seat on that.
of the seat there. Yeah,
custom wrap and colorway and
Some bags.
got some bags hanging off there, and
I mean, it really came out nice. You guys use it a bunch now.
Yeah, it's in the office, so we can kind of cruise up and down the main street, go to lunch, and it's cool.
That's right. Yeah, I've used mine a few times.
Yeah,
do some wheelies and stuff in the
they're
yard
fun.
with kids.
Fun as shit to ride.
Yeah, they're super fun, and just another layer. Just another weird thing that we couldn't fit on the poster.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
An event unto its own.
Well, it's always fun. We enjoy working on the show.
Yeah.
We're super hyped. We're going to kick off the 15-year book, which is going to be amazing.
Yeah,
so.
Lots of work to be done there.
Yep.
As well as the show in Las Vegas, hopefully, and another one show, 16 years.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's awesome.
And that'll make it, 4 years that we've worked together?
It'll be 4 years in a row
Yeah.
of branding and marketing. Yeah.
Wow. It's kind of amazing the amount of graphic work. I mean, just a capsule of work that goes into each show, and it doesn't happen without super experienced, efficient, experts,
Right.
and just honing in on their thing that they're doing, and one thing I learned is that if you pay a creative person to put your idea in a creative way, then that's all you need to do. But to sit there and tell them what they, how to do their creativity is like the wrong way. And
totally.
So,
all right. Well, let's wrap it up.
We'll probably see another one of these videos in a year, and
we'll be back at the show.
The 16th year.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah.
Perfect.
Coming out.
Let's let's get out of here. Take some gas bikes for a spin and call it a day.
Yeah, sounds good, guys.
All right.
Thanks for having me on here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Subscribe, like, do whatever you do on YouTube, and thanks for watching.
Grip it, flip it, and sip it.
Yeah.